So you'll notice that there are a wide variety of new packs showing up with the Aluula Fabric, which is the latest and greatest in the Dyneema pack trend. This one is one that is interesting because it seems like it's catching the attention of many more pack makers, including some big name brands. So it's kind of an interesting thing that's happening. These two packs are some of the earliest ones out with Aluula Fabric. You have the Nashville packs, Aluula Fabric pack, the Cutaway pack, and here you have, this is a company out of Japan called Pago Works, which is another Aluula Fabric pack. That one is a 35-liter pack, and the Nashville packs is a 40-liter pack. Slightly different dimensions. I'm going to look at some of the features here in just a minute. But now you bring in a third option. Here you have the Gossamer Gear line of packs, with also using Aluula Fabric. This one is the Mirage 40, and it's the Alchemy line of packs, the Alchemy collection. Are not backpacked with the Pago Works or the Gossamer Gear pack. Obviously I just pulled that one out of the box, but it's really interesting to compare and contrast right out of the gate. I'll tell you that the Nashville packs Cutaway and the Pago Works feel like they're using a very similar thickness. Pago Works might be even maybe slightly thicker than the Cutaway pack, but Gossamer Gear is pushing the limits, and you can tell the fabric is thinner overall. So I think it might be the thinnest line of Alula that they make, which is kind of an interesting play on Gossamer Gear's part. And they've always sorted towards, you know, as light as they can get in the pack category. And since this is supposed to be the strongest of the Dyneemas, apparently, and it's a heat bonded process that will not delaminate, they might have just made the correct gamble. So I'm gonna There's just a little bit of a fairness issue going on with the Nashville Packs Cutaway, because I've got an adapted back panel to it that gives it some structure and air ventilation, and I've added bottom pockets to it as well. So that's going to make it slightly heavier. But interesting comparison though, the Mirage 40 has a back panel and some structure and cushion there, and also full suspension using carbon fiber poles that run back through the back there and cross. I'll show that in a minute. And the Pago Works Zen 35 has a back panel. So if I took all those things off the Cutaway pack, yes, it would be lighter, but adding it actually makes it comparable to these two. So far you have the lightest pack still coming out as the Mirage 40 by a long shot. So it'll be interesting to kind of break this down and compare and contrast the features. But first thing I'm going to do is pack this Mirage 40 from Gossamer Gear completely full so you can see what that looks like. It is insane how lightweight these pockets are. I mean, they are so light they almost don't even register. I think it's like 0.7 tenths of an ounce. And if they didn't put all these tags and things on the inside and the outside, it'd even be lighter, but super lightweight. It's like a wisp of nothing. if it holds up from a durability standpoint, this is actually a marvel in terms of backpacking innovations and progress with fabrics and weight. Okay, here's the waist strap pocket on. And if I have put that on right, I think it's a fairly simple attachment. There is a fine material in the back that you just slide over the pocket. So this could be a durability issue over time, but we'll see how that turns out. The back pocket also has always concerned me on Gossamer Gear. It's very, very lightweight material. I think the pack will outlive the back stretch pocket by a long shot. So that's an issue to think about, but that's kind of the way Gossamer Gear has always done their back stretch pockets. Looks like one nice thing about how the pockets are designed for waist belt. They slide over the waist belt like that, and then as they come over, the buckle and the strap to the waist belt will hold it in place and prevent it from sliding down or sliding off. So it seems like that was thoughtful design. For the shoulder harness, you have Velcro attachment systems, a long, slender Velcro strap, and then two straps that cross over the long, slender one. And so I'm thinking the way this works is you put the long, slender Velcro in through this top loop. You could probably put it in lower too. I assume you could put it in through here and to here. Maybe that's what they intended, not the higher up one. Let's go down to the lower one. So through the lower one. I don't know if it will not go through that one and this lower one. It would go through this upper one and that one, I believe. But that seems like it will be too high up on your shoulder. So I'm going to go through this one. Probably an instruction video out there somewhere that I have not seen, or instructions that are in the bag. I can't tell if that's the case or not. So there's that, and then come down and completely strap around the back. Is that their intention? I think I've discovered an alternative way to attach the shoulder strap pouch to the Mirage 40. That is by taking the Velcro and sliding it underneath the outer strap, and then folding that over and putting the other strap on it. when all that is said and done, sliding this down through this piece and then coming down and down the inside here and velcroing it across there and there. So it'll end up going through that piece and then holding down those two straps. So I'm going to give that a shot and see if that's the proper way to attach the shoulder harness strap. That seemed like it attached pretty well that way, and it also kept all the pouch harness features from not going underneath where the strap is touching you on the body. So I'm thinking that might be the way they designed it. The other thing I love, I'm glad Gossamer did this, and more people should do this. This little top flap to the pouch, the shoulder strap pouch, is really important. And I love that it's just got a little magnetic closure. It's also got a soft lining to it. So, you know, you put your cell phone or whatever else in there, it will somewhat protect from scratches and things like that. But the top flap is important, and a lot of people don't do that, and it needs to be on every one of them, is when you're in a downpour and you have this open pouch, whatever you have in your pocket, usually it's stuff that's waterproof anyways, but it could be a handkerchief or gloves or whatever. It's just soaking there, and that leads to problems. So this little pouch shedding rain is so smart. I also think that more packs need to have a back flap over top of the back pouch. And even though water is going to penetrate this pouch, water coming straight down, or snow or debris or leaves or dirt or whatever else, will be shed from going into this pouch. More people need to do just a little tiny flap over that pouch, which I think would be really, really helpful. And I do have that on my Hyperlight Headwall 55. Of course, that's made for more backcountry skiing, so it makes sense to keep the snow out. But I think everybody needs to put a little back pouch cover on, just like Gossamer Gear has done with the shoulder pouches here. I think that's a pretty good design. All right, there you have the bottom waist belt pouches and the top shoulder strap pouches on the Gossamer Gear Mirage 40. Now we're gonna dig in and next look at the back adjustable harness and how that works. So you have a back stretch panel. You have adjustments to that back stretch panel, and including you can unclip it at the bottom on both sides, and then you can unclip it here at the top. And so that's what they want you to do. Loosen this a little bit. Finagle that out. Do the same thing to the other side. Loosen a little bit. A little tricky getting it off because it's got that little lip, but I think that's well designed because it's not going to come off easy. It'll probably go back on easier than it came off. So then you pull that out of the way, get the shoulder straps out of the way, and now you have this back panel. And this back panel is supposed to be able to slide up and slide down depending on where you want it and the measurements, your back measurements. So it's a one-size-fits-all pack, but it allows you to slide this up and slide this down fairly easily, actually. So I'm probably not going to mess with this a whole lot until I get everything suited up, and then I work on that. But here's your carbon fiber stays that go right in the back. This will be very interesting too. Hopefully that back panel comes up through here will pull tight enough and give you a bowing effect, because you have these two buckles in the back. I almost think they could have done this maybe with some Velcro adjustments, but these two buckles feel like they could be something that could cut into your back. Not this one, because it should rise above your shoulders, maybe, depending on your torso length. But this one looks like it could definitely be prone to cut into your back. So let's put this back on and tighten it up to see if it will provide that bowing effect, like I mentioned. So those do not touch your back. We'll find out really quickly. And also, I'll pack this down as full as I can get it, put it on my back so we can see if it will actually bow out like it needs to bow out. I have to imagine it will all work. Gossamer Gear is good with designing their packs and the ergonomics of their packs. So we'll find out here very quickly how well it works. I think they say you can put this up against a surface, solid surface, and you can pull down on these straps very tightly. And you want to get them equal on both sides. But when you do that, it allows the carbon fibers to push out. So this is a full suspension, very lightweight suspension, hopefully strong, but a very full suspension that also provides hopefully a trampoline effect and a breathability, and you won't touch this buckle at all. So we'll find out how that works. Looks like I might have over-tightened it. So let's loosen it down a little bit. That seems right. All right, let's load this bad boy up and see what it looks like. Okay, I discovered on the top of the Mirage 40, Gossamer Gear Mirage 40, you have this hand strap, carrying strap to pick the pack up by. And also underneath you have this little flap, which is very interesting. And as I went into the pack, I discovered that is a porthole for your water bladder tube. And it kind of concerns me because at the right angle, you could have water pouring in there. So you come underneath here. I don't use a water bladder, but I sort of think I might just take some Dyneema tape and tape that right up so there's no issues with water coming in there. And I can already see the tape that they've got has some ruffled edges, or the edges are, you see that, the edges are coming up. So you got a bit of a quality control issue already going on here. I'm not sure I would have put that in there. It's very interesting. The tape's not seated all that well right there. I'll have to fix that. I also wish more people would attach this strap directly down to the top somehow, or the clip is down here, so you can always keep some good tension on your stretchy pocket. Here's that. It's kind of loaded full, so you can see, hopefully that shows. You can see that there is some back panel to this, but it needs to be pulled down some more. Makes me a little nervous when you pack this thing completely full and you pull these straps down to tighten and bow out the ridge, bow out the back section a little bit. Are those carbon fiber stays going to hold? Well, let's put it on and see how it goes. Okay, here we go. Particularly happy they put the load lifters on there. And don't know if you can see through the back, but I do not feel any buckles on my back. I spoke too soon on this pocket. I have put this pocket on 4 times now, and when you pick the belt up to put it on, it comes sliding off every time, so that's not really a good retention buckle right there, which makes me extra happy that they did put that Alula tag on the back, because what you can do is just thread some very fine Dyneema cord through there and strap it off to the back, so this pouch will not come sliding off every time you pick the pack up and put the pouch on. So there is a way to secure that. So thank goodness they put the little Alula tag there. That will help. So I have to say, I really like and appreciate that there are now companies coming along that are doing these ultralight packs with more features. Like you have a back panel on here, a stretch back panel, and this isn't just, you know, an ultralight in the sense of what we've found in Z-Packs or whatever. This is uber ultralight. This is very, very light. I believe they're marketing it as the lightest on the market, and they still have this feature of a harness back panel that actually has ventilation. And one thing I don't understand, you do have this on other packs, but the load lifters, like you can't find load lifters on several ultralight packs out there. Most notorious is the hyperlight packs, and I assume that they have designed it and put it together and think you're carrying such light weight you don't need load lifters, but I just don't get that. I think load lifters need to be on every single pack. It dials it into your back better. The fit and performance is better. So I love that Gossamer Gear did that. I do think they made an error with this hydration tube. It's obviously not going to be watertight. It will, you know, a straight downpour maybe, but that is not going to be watertight. And then obviously, as I showed you inside, there were some issues with the tape not being down all that well. So I don't know if this was just one of the earliest models of production, and you know, they got to keep on refining that. Overall, the pack is very well built, and I'm excited to see just how well this performs, because this is ridiculously lightweight fabric. It's the thinnest weight that Alula makes, so it's kind of mind-blowing how light that is. And if it holds up with the durability claims and the performance that Alula claims to be, this will be really interesting. There you go, my pouch pocket came off again, so you certainly have to anchor these down with a little Dyneema, cord, slip it through the Alula tag, and then, you know, like if it's on this side, just take some Dyneema, loop it through there, and then loop it around here or loop it back here somewhere so that doesn't keep sliding off. You could even put some bungee type cord on there, so there's still some stretch to the pack. The pack is, when I put it on, super comfortable. And if those carbon fiber stays, which I've put a fair amount of pressure on there, if those carbon fiber stays hold up and don't pop with just the wrong movement, the wrong pressure, whatever, Gossamer Gear has really won with this design. So that's kind of my first take on the pack. Very interested to get it out and see how it performs, and excited to see how everything holds up and the durability, comfort, water tightness. A couple more features on the back. You have loops here, carrying loops at the top of the back of the pack, and if you come down, there's the bottom loop with some cinch cords. So you have that feature. There is some working out that you have to do. There's a little bit of adjustment, kind of finicky adjustment, but I think probably once you get everything adjusted, this will work nicely. It is very comfortable with that back panel, so I think that's been designed well. Other features have to test and try and figure that all out. Here's kind of a close-up of the side welding. I'm really excited that Gossamer Gear built this pack, and I'm looking forward to more fabrics, more designs, more creativity, and more full-featured. So looking forward to the innovations that will continue to come.